August 3rd, 2012, Friday. During breakfast, she was still quizzing Virtuoso on her information-gathering techniques. She was most interested in the top performers, those who would be her major competition. Bioforce was interested from a curiosity standpoint. She just wanted to know more about the people there. Midas thought they had bigger fish to fry. K-Tag loomed ahead. He knew guys like Darkspeed and Ion would be impossible to hit. He almost dreaded going to the pit. Cheer up. Out of everyone here, you came out on top for firepower, and you're still worried about a little game like this? Virtuoso thought to Midas. You don't understand. I don't handle losing very well. I try to be a sportsman about things, but when it happens, it's like I'm 4 years old again. I just want to throw a tantrum. That is something you are going to have to get over. From what I read of Coach Spur's memories, we have battle simulation after battle simulation, and most won't be pretty. They want us to fail on some things. The coaches think it's the quickest way to learn. If you take everything that hard while you're here, then it's really going to stink to be Y. Toby? To be Y. To be you. Thanks. What are you two talking about? Bioforce said. Midas did very well at K-Tech against the red shirts before, but he figured the field is getting a little crowded, Virtuoso said. Well, I for one just plan on having fun today, she said. You, the Uber competitor? Bioforce laughed. Yes, all the tests and challenges are done. The coaches are mulling over their picks. It's all over but the crying. What crying? Midas asked. Just an expression, an American expression, she said. Midas made a funny face that asked, Did you just insult me? She means the coaches are going to pick who they're going to pick. And if you don't get what you want, only crying about it is left. The moral is, you can't do anything about it except cry, Virtuoso said. Oh. Coach Spurs walked into the dining area holding his ever-present clipboard. Today, coaches are deciding what team you will be on. This morning, you will all be playing K-Tag. You will go to the pit and listen to Lucy as if she were me. If I should get any reports that anyone gave her a hard time, you will be sorry. When Lucy calls lunch, you will come back here. After lunch, pack up everything in your room and bring it down here. Results from most of the testing done this week will be made public then. Before dinner, we will be announcing teams, and you will sit with your new team during dinner. Dress nice for dinner. Now get to the pit. At the pit, Lucy, Bobby, Jack, and Midas helped everyone get into a red harness. Lucy took note of who the healers were. Then she told them if a student is hurt, they would be called on to heal non-critical wounds. If someone were to be critically wounded, they would simply be red benched before the wound could happen. Once everyone was harnessed and checked, Omni showed the Track 2 students the K-gun. Upon a demonstration, everyone wanted to get theirs. Once all the students were issued K-guns by Omni, Lucy started giving out the rules. K-Tag takes place in the mock town. Your K-guns will not be active until you cross the red line into the town. If you red bench a student whose K-gun is not active, you will be red benched also. What? Midas thought to himself. These are not the rules Coach Hansen used. When I run K-Tag, it's to be fair and fun. No powers of any kind, or you will be red benched twice. Your red harnesses are set to red bench you on any hit regardless of how tough you are. Your K-guns only fire 1 shot per second, no more. And the biggest limitation of all, you cannot move at a speed of more than 10 norms. That means if you use super speed faster than 10 times a normal person's, your harness will automatically red bench you. Your game starts now. Lucy gave a smile and a wink at Jack. What? No super speed? Darkspeed said in shock. Yeah, no super speed? IQ said with fury. Midas started running toward the town. He motioned for his friends to come near. Virtuoso party line on! Won't that get me benched? No, just do it. I worked in the dugout. The harnesses only pick up physical manifestation of powers. Telepathy is almost impossible for technology to detect. Super senses still work too. Anything physically detected, you'll get benched. You've played this before? What should we do? She thought. First, we run faster. Bioforce and I run 5 times norm. She, pace off us and go almost twice as fast. I'll give you direction when you get closer to the town. Virtuoso, you lag behind at a 3, but try your best. Where am I going? She thought. The town is a square about 1,000 yards on each side. The side facing us is south. The side on your right is east. About 200 yards past the corner on the east side is a clump of tall buildings. Enter there. Go inside one of the buildings and there are stairs going to the roof. Get on the roof and start keeping track of where the other kids are at. Got it. She was moving just under 60 miles an hour when she parted from the rest of the students that were running fast. She cut right around the town to where Midas had told her to enter. Up on the roof, What she saw were clumps of other students who were gathering and making plans. Do you see where the other students are? Midas thought. Yes, in singles and in clumps near the entrance. Some are moving farther back into the town. Virtuoso, you go to She and take her position and feed us where to attack. She, for right now, where can Bioforce and I strafe a crowd that isn't looking? 2 streets to your left and 3 streets in, you'll see a clump of 8 that are in a dead end doing a huddle. 2 of them are acting as guards, but they are half talking to the group that is making plans. She thought. Okay, that's the first set of targets. Bioforce, you play video games? No, I have a life, Bioforce thought. Funny. Strafing is running sideways while shooting. Or in this case, running with your gun pointing sideways and shoot, Midas thought. I only get 1 shot per second. I can't hit anyone that way. No, but I will when you distract them. Once past the street, turn and fire, just exposing your gun, hands, and half of your head. She, is there any cover on that road for them? They have no cover unless they enter a building. You have 4 faster than you in there. Avian, Nano, Echo, and Shane, she answered. Good, 1 more street. Bioforce, drop back 15 feet and let me get the first guard before you strafe. Bioforce did as she was told. Midas stopped quick and quiet and shot Echo, who was kind of on guard. The silvery red bench light enveloped him. Bioforce ran past and fired her gun sideways with surprising accuracy and almost struck Avian. Avian reacted and ducked so fast the red harness engaged and she disappeared. Nano and Shane are the 2 fastest left, she screamed and thought. As the 6 remaining scrambled for cover that wasn't there, Midas fired at Nano and red benched her. Bioforce followed Midas' example and stood tall, leaning the weapon past the building with very little of herself exposed. Shane spun and fired too quickly, just missing Midas. Midas waited for his K-gun to allow him to shoot again. He saw Jack in the crowd. Bioforce, bench Jack next! Bioforce fired at Jack, who was firing at Midas. Jack missed Midas, but Bioforce didn't miss. Jack disappeared in a flash of silvery light. Midas red-benched Chain and ducked out of the line of fire. Bioforce followed Midas again and ducked back out of the way. Midas waited for his K-gun to be ready to fire when he heard a red harness go off around the corner where he had just been shooting. Got one for you! Only 2 left, she thought to him. On that news, Midas crouched and leaned in to fire as before, with his head and hands at a different height. He fired quickly and red-benched Isotope. Bioforce did the same thing and was able to get Quake. You need to run north now, she thought to him. Midas and Bioforce started running at top speed. What's going on? Midas thought back. Your noise has drawn others. Take your next right and take cover. Midas and Bioforce did as they were told. Turn and be ready to shoot the way you came in. It's the hitters. Only take 1 shot each and then run east until I give you more instructions. Midas and Bioforce were ready for the ambush. The hitters rounded the corner and came north the same way they had. Midas and Bioforce were 200 yards away with only the tips of their K-guns showing. Okay, now! Midas thought to Bioforce. Midas aimed for and struck Olympian. Bioforce chose to target the fastest hitter, Kinetic. Both were red-benched in a flash of light. Midas and Bioforce then ran as they were told, to the east. They were getting up and trying to see where the shots came from. Stop and set up the same ambush when they cross your sights, she thought. Is Virtuoso with you? Midas thought. Yes, I'm explaining to her what to look for, how to lead you around trouble, when to fight, and how to set a trap. We don't have all day, Bioforce thought. Don't need it. She's learning telepathically. That's handy, Midas thought. Heads up, your targets are picking up speed. In range in less than 5 seconds, she thought. Midas and Bioforce were able to red-bench the last 2 hitters. Soon, they were engaging the other students faster and more often. She joined them, and Virtuoso started giving instructions from the building with the view. She made sure Virtuoso only thought and didn't speak or shoot. That way, no super hearing would find her position. This game continued at a frantic pace for hours without the rules ever changing. When the game was called, Midas was supremely happy with the team he had fought with. Each of the 3 had been red-benched several times, and Virtuoso never was, but their scores were much higher than anyone else's. On the way back to the dugout to return the red harnesses, other students were asking them how they did so well. They said they just used good teamwork, never once saying how they were coordinated via a telepathic party line from a point of observation. Lucy, Bobby, Jack, and Midas were taking care of the red harnesses. Armory was gathering up the K-guns. After a while, Lucy asked Midas to help her carry harnesses back into the dugout. The technology may not recognize telepathy, but I do. I have to hand it to you. You're the youngest one here, and you came out on top by bending the rules.